coffee. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Let me get everything up and running. Alpeasy. Good morning, Alpeasy. How you doing? What do you think about all this, Alpeasy? What do you think about all this? So, you know, we were up here. We identified that. We said we want to clean this. We do not need to sweep that. We want to leave funky lows. You know, we drew the box. We got pixel. Yeah, and now we'll see if this can hold, yeah? Step by step, level by level, all peasy. Hans Hugo says, turning the $100 BTCC giveaway into 1K with fart. What's fart doing? Juicy Maguchi, Juicy Maguchi. Haskir says, I got really mad. Yes, I put a shorter on 119,300 and it literally pixeled 119,299. Yeah, well, you shouldn't try to get pixel perfect top. I mean, if you're looking at this, were you here yesterday? How we were talking about the 7505 rotation? 7505. You could have, like trying to short that and then complaining that you missed it. It's not really valid. It should have been like 200 is what your entry should have been. You know, anything above 220 is probably a little bit greedy, don't you think? But what we're witnessing right now is what? The 7505 and the what? What's supposed to happen here? So it's pixel perfect from what we talked about yesterday. If you really did want to short, you should have shorted $200, not $300. And complaining that you missed it by $1 is actually not valid because you're trying to get pixel perfect top. If you really wanted the 0.5, it should have been 200. But that's okay. Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, and then we're gonna see if Golden Pocket is support or not, right? That's it. So don't try to overcomplicate it, my guy. Bixar says, I've been long since 50K and I had an initial target of 125, 150. Any tips to help me find a place to close it? My biggest tip would be, do you plan on closing the trade and leaving crypto forever? Because if you're not going to leave crypto forever, then what I would emphasize is not getting hyper focused on that one trade, but making sure that you have protocols in place that will help you, residually juice up. So what I would normally tell people is if you're juicing and you can't execute your plan, you're going to have a hard time executing your plan when you're in the red. You're juicing up tremendously. So I would just do Fibonacci extensions, Bixar, Elliott wave. For me, I'm going to shave a good chunk at like 130. So have you been following along the last, like, for example, this green line has been here for around since December. So December of last year is when we drew these two green lines. So, just do Fibonacci extensions and plan shit out, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, probably 130. Yeah, you should probably shave a little 130, then maybe 150, and then 180. Xenon says, Kimba, if we turn golden pocket into resistance and lose value area high to rotate to value low confidence within the pocket, would you look to long that if you have edge or wait for lower low? Well, let's see if golden pocket actually does get turned into resistance. Theoretically, it shouldn't. So let's see. But yeah, if we lose the VWAP, then I'd be looking at the box again, maybe. But 114, I guess. Yeah, remember Xenon, for me it's 117, 114, and then 111. So 107 is pretty far down there for me to even think about, really. But you're caught up on the what we talked about last night, though, right? There you go. Check. Everything is drawn out and anticipated, so you just have to be caught up. So yeah, first thing is this going to happen? And then if that doesn't happen, the next one is kind of like right here. Yeah, and then after that, I would be like 114. I'd be looking for this gap. All right, I hope that helps. Yeah, but 107 is so far down there, bro. I've got 3 levels before that. 117, 114, 111. So I got to take it level by level. 107 is a little bit too far for me to even talk about, unfortunately. But yeah, I could see that happening if all of the levels that I just mentioned get lost. Astro says, what if it straight up goes up without retracements? Yeah, I mean, that's what we want, right? How can you tell if something actually did a bullish retest? Astro Noob, do you know how to tell if something actually did a bullish retest? It's the narrative of the bullishness would continue. So you would actually see structure change. You would see a higher high and a higher low. So you would get above the 0.5. This. Jermaine JJ says, Kimba, what you thinking about ETH? Juice? Mega juice, my boy. ETH BTC kind of reminds me of this, doesn't it? Remember, it made a higher low and then it blasted, right? Or excuse me, it made a higher high, right, on the second impulse. Made a higher high on the second impulse. Yeah, so I don't know how long you've been watching, but we've been watching this ETH BTC line for 3 years now. We drew this bitch September 2022. Yeah, so there's plenty of times when it broke out that you can look at, right? And if you look at when it broke, doesn't this look pretty similar? So I know exactly what I'm doing because I'm going to just do it just like this. When I don't know if you could go back to the April 2024 highlights and see if you can catch ETH BTC highlights. But it's kind of, for me, very, very similar. Don't you think? First one got out. Second one held the line, made a higher high, broke it again, bullish retest, and then break. Break, bullish retest, higher high, bullish retest, break. But yeah, so no surprises here. And then these are the levels for ETH. So should be no surprises there either. Everything is planned out. This is basically the important levels, right? But yeah. It turned the key level into support. So probably looking at like that naked point of control at some point, you know, Bitcoin 130, but ETH has a long, ETH should be at 10,000. This is kind of pathetic. ETH has a long way to go, ladies and gentlemen. ETH has a long way to go. Yeah, so no surprises. I think it's doing everything that we would kind of anticipate, I guess. Yeah, so yeah, Jermaine, let me know if you have something specific you want to ask about ETH, but if you've been able to follow along since last October when we did our first altcoin nerd out, when I gave you guys like the higher time frame outlook for ETH, BTC, and ETH, nothing's really changed. Yeah, but you understand that like Bitcoin is making all-time highs and ETH is barely at like the 66th percentile of its all-time high. So it's got a long ways to go. I'm sure you can see it. Let's get that juice pick so perfect. Let's go. That's mega juice. How we doing, Lions? Are we locked in? Whether it's a Head and Shoulders, right? Whether it's a trident, whether it's a bullish retest, whether it's VWAP, fucking A, man, whether it's the 886 to the golden pocket. Everything that we talk about, everything that we rely on, everything that we use in full display for everybody to see and see it for themselves. So and I never will. I don't care if you're in a long, I don't care if you're in a short, no one cares. Just make sure that you're taking those because you have a logical reason to. Manage your risk. All right? What are we thinking? What are we thinking? And as always, ladies and gentlemen, preparation meeting opportunity. That's how we juice, y'all. Lincoln says, I've seen you poking here, flipping the charts muted today at 000. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, brother, I'm not supposed to be looking at the charts or like be back in the office at that time, you know? So I gotta like sneak in this bitch. Right? Baby girl thinks that I'm like taking a shit. You understand? So I'm not going to be like, hey, what's up, guys? Who chosen? I got to be quiet. But I said enough, though. I did say enough. I drew enough and said enough, I think. Ooh, it's actually kind of hard to hear me on the YouTube. Who's the one that clipped this? From Twitch? I should turn up the volume on the YouTube, huh? So, this is this. Yeah, let me know. We already talked about the levels to the upside, levels to the downside. So, yeah, this is actually first resistance. Basically, like the gap close, point of control. So, yeah, that's first resistance, and then that's second, and then that's obviously the third one. Yeah, there's always another trade. Let me know what you want to chase, and we can talk about it, Evian. Everybody should be able to say a short and a long. You know, that way you're not biased. You're looking at it objectively. JV says, I'm looking at that soul. I'm afraid that resistance will be turned into support. I would just do what we did with Biddy, like stuff like this, you know, understanding patterns. Yeah, like where you can chase, where you can't chase, stuff like that. Salacosti says, I was there, but I barely heard you though. Yeah, it seems like it was quiet. Oh, yes. Shh. Come on. Dick Flex says, thank you for teaching us. I don't really think I'm teaching anybody anything, to be honest. You know, like the price action is really the teacher, ain't it? You know, the math is the teacher. I'm just here to kind of remind you guys what we've seen together, but...
Shout out KIMBA. Let's get it. KIMBA was popping.
Yeah, let's get it, Flexi. Let's keep juicing. Let's keep learning. Exclamation giveaway, exclamation BTCC, exclamation 2-bit. I'm going to be watching this S&P SFP right here, and there's a chance that I might take this long, but no bullish order flow yet, right? Get that juicy juice, motherfuckers! Come on, y'all! Quit playing with the math, man. Quit playing with the math, man. I19 says, why didn't you take the long on S&P? I've been answering that question and talking about it throughout the day, so you can maybe rewind and get caught up. Yeah, like no bullish order flow yet, I19. So we're here now. Let's see if the SFP is valid. I'm not gonna get got. I rather miss taking the long than take the long for no reason. You feel me? And 23 minutes on this 30-minute candle close. So I don't really like it when it does like the SFP towards the first half or the front half of the 30-minute candle. I like the, I mean, most of the OGs know what I'm talking about, but I love the SFPs when they're at the latter half. So we can get the f and then close. This motherfucker has to f and then hold that for 23 minutes. I don't like those. But it can do whatever it wants to do. For now, I'm going to just sit here and wait 23 minutes to see how the candle closes. Pretty cool though, right? Easy money, Bugatti money, bitches. Quit playing. Quit playing. And then I19. You know what this line is, right? It's an SFP. Do you remember when I was talking about this? So I'm ready for that Bugatti juice too, Mike. So here we are, brother. You ready? You juicing? You juicing, my boy? You better be juicing, motherfuckers. Let's go. Let's get that juice. Can I get a ka-choy? Let's go. I don't care if you took a long or short or whatever, all right? The takeaways from the last 15, 20 minutes of Alpha TA is going back to Golden Pocket, not bullish, okay? I'm that type of motherfucker that would actually want it to nuke through, have it bounce off of the 0.5, and I would think about shorting the Golden Pocket. You see what I'm saying? I'm that guy. I'm that dude. That's me. And last but not least, none of these things are like, take my word for it. It's, you can see this for yourself. This happens all. You think this is the first time this has happened? Dude, this is literally like the 5,000th time in like the last like 6 months. You know? So it should have held 7.5, 7.86. It should have spent time outside of value. For it to just go back up there, fuck around, get slapped at 914, and then come back like that. Man, that wasn't great. So, and like, it's not the end of the world either, right? Like bulls could have a massive bounce off of value area low, right? And are you watching like the candle closes here? So it doesn't really matter. Like I didn't short 886. I would never do that. You guys know that, you know, but it's kind of common sense to like we really needed to build value outside, you know, and just like how you played it out, bro. Like everybody that was thinking about longing it, they decided not to, right? And you can clearly see by that candle, like there were no bids that could prevent any sort of like stop loss cascade. It just melted. So anyways, just trying not to get got. You know what I mean? I mean, this shit's crazy, right? I'm just trying to not get, I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm just here so I don't get got. So anyways, did you hear the whole little spiel that I went on about what juicing means? I know you juicing, Konsteak. I feel like the last 20 minutes is pretty good juice. And we got to see it live together. So next time, you don't have to take my word for it. You don't need to look to me to tell you what it is. You can just try to remember this shit. So, pretty cool though, right, Konsteak? So this is, again, like by the book. Like what's more likely to happen? Is it more likely that the golden pocket is going to bounce after going back into value? Probably not. Could it still happen? Sure. And bulls really needed to step in if that was going to happen. But the higher probable outcome came out. So, and in 30 seconds, we're going to have the 5-minute candle close. How crazy funny would it be if this 5-minute candle closes right on the 0.5? 23 seconds left, okay? Let's see. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They better quit playing with me, Konsteak. They better quit playing with me. What do you mean? What would that mean? Like there's still an opportunity to go rotate and back test 618. So like if you're a bull, for example, you're tripping right now. Okay? The only thing that you can do is you get the fuck out of value right now. You don't make a lower low. You go right now. That's it. That's your last hope. Otherwise, you're kind of fucked. You know? So the higher, easier trade, if you get back to golden pocket, would be now to take a bearish retest short, which is what I was telling you, what I would probably end up doing 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. So can I predict the future and promise you that it's going to go back to 618? Nope, I don't know. So that's how you would be looking at this. This is, remember, KIMBA TV, 24/7, ESPN of crypto. I can't predict the future, but these are all things that we've seen many times together, isn't it? OGs and vets. So shall we go let us up? I don't know what I can really... I19, can I borrow your crystal ball? But it's not a crystal ball. And I would expect you after the next... I19, I'm going to count on you to be able to narrate this shit yourself in 2 months from now. A month and a half from now. I19, you should have seen this shit enough times to be able to kind of figure this out on your own. I'm not doing anything that crazy. I have value area high, point of control, value area low, and fibs. And just based off of those two variables, I'm narrating who's got the edge, the bulls or the bears. So I can't predict the future. Like I can't predict that 618 is going to get tapped and then dumped on. But I do know that if bulls are going to actually try to get their, like claw their way out of this hole, they probably have 28 minutes, maybe this last 30-minute candle close to get back outside of value area high. And if you don't think that's going to happen, then the structure change has already shifted. And so bearish retest of golden pocket is probably what you might be looking at. Yeah! Lions, you know what it is. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, bears, we're all lions. Cytilix says still cotton, rewind. Okay, got you. Cytilix, you want a quick little recap? Brother, this is what I would say, okay? Higher time frame, nothing has changed. We're still aiming for 130, between 130 and 137. Higher time frame, nothing has changed, okay? Medium time frame is what I would consider like when we were looking at failed auction. This is when we were talking about this has to get cleaned, and we drew this box, right? We drew this box right around here, I believe. Here, maybe? Remember drawing this green line? Do you remember this? So, like, this is when we started talking about longing this and waiting for this to get cleaned, right? Oh, fuck, my screen. Let me start over. Cytilix. Higher time frame, nothing has changed. We're still rooting for 130 and higher. Okay? We're still rooting for 130 and higher at some point. So higher time frame, nothing has changed. 117 on CME and specifically 116.6. This bad low was our target to try to take longs. Okay? Eventually, through price action and patience, we figured out this box. That's the 0.5. That's the 7.5 of the Fibonacci extension. Okay? And so basically anything in between here was a good long entry, right? And so medium time frame, that long, and then this head and shoulders. Now, what I would recommend that you do, Cytilix, is today we talked about do the right thing, play by the book. So I think if most of the Lion Cubs, they have already gone into Bolkowski, head and shoulders, bottom. So there you go. So everybody should know like what the target is. It's the neckline and the head, right? So if that's the neckline, I'm going to just draw it crudely, but like it doesn't matter if it's straight or not because the height is still going to be the same. So isn't that a fucking coincidence? Right? And then obviously do a little EV on your bitch ass, right? Percentage of the time it meets price target, 71%, right? So what that mean? So what you do is you take your fib and you go from the expected high to the fucking neckline, and 70% is your EV. That is right here. So the question is, Cytilix, okay, if you had a long, did you do the right thing? Did you play it by the book? How much of any long that you have here, how much did you shave right here? That's really the quiz. That's really the test for today. That's it. Did you manage risk? That's it. Because that's your EV for the head and shoulders. Okay? That's your 71%. So basically, the trade is done. Like, I'm not looking for any more longs, Cytilix, right? I'm starting to think about, this is kind of looking like a nice little interesting short. So at this point, 33%, 50%, whatever it is, you know, you TP'd, and the rest should be going for a home run for 130. Wherever your long entry is, put your stop loss at break even. Can't lose. You probably can't lose this, right? That'd be the invalidation of the head and shoulders. So put your stop loss behind the neckline, right? And you're done. Like, you're not continuing to look for longs and shit. Unless you have another play in mind. So, like, you feel like you're caught up? Like, I'm good on the long. Cytilics, I did everything that I was supposed to do. When it was up here, I planned for this. I had that identified. I had all of this. I had a plan A, plan B, plan C. We were very clear about what you needed to get into for this, right? I did that. I also TP'd as I was supposed to and play it by the book. I still have 68% left, I think. Basically 70%. If this happens, I'm not tripping. The rest is going to go for home run till 130. And this is an area where I might head short, especially if I get things like, what would something like this look like on CVD? If it's going to make a lower high, what kind of divergence would that be? You guys can see that from here, you have 70 million in short still open. So if we get a hidden CVD bear div, if I get a swing fail, if I get all of these shorts stopped out, and S&P kind of helps me out a little bit, I'm probably in that short. I'm not bearish. I'm just hedging the long. And again, any sort of crazy big pullback, whether it's 114, 111, whatever, I would be looking to possibly get into longs. So higher time frame, nothing has changed. All right. Medium time frame, you might have to juggle things around. And then the smaller time frame, well, the smaller time frame don't even matter right now because it's RTH. I mean, RTH is closed. Smaller time frame is like the day-to-day shit that we always do when I show up on stream before the market's open. So, okay, we could fix this right now. Let's go schwink and schwink and schwink. All right, Cytilics and Cytilics, brother, you're one hell of a trader, man. You've got a fucking pirate badge on. You know what that pirate badge symbolizes, Cytilics? A little bit of reckless confidence, like a Jack Sparrow. You're supposed to make mistakes, and you're allowed to make mistakes now. So go out there and, have some fun with it. And represent that pirate spirit. You're going to make mistakes. The reason why you have wiggle room now to make mistakes is because I'm assuming that your risk management is on point and you're still not doing some stupid shit. Between the 6 and 9 month lion phase, I'm hoping you guys are really taking this like stop loss and profit like shit seriously. So now, assuming that you have mastered stop loss and profit, now you have more wiggle room to start swinging for the fences a little bit. So get your Jack Sparrow on, baby. Don't be afraid. Trust what you know. Have fun with it. Exclamation giveaway, exclamation giveaway, exclamation giveaway. Giveaway how to.
Shout out KIMBA. Let's get it. KIMBA was popping.
Look at all the winners. And if you really wanted to double check all of this, you could check out everybody's profile. These are 9 month, 8 month, 10 month subs. And you can even go back and watch the stream and double check. Is this guy capping or what? Ka-choya! All right, I gotta get out of here for real. My meeting is starting. Give it up for Houston. Love you guys. Exclamation BTCC, exclamation giveaway. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Can I get a cut, Joy? Can I get a cut, Joy? Can I get a cut, Joy? Let's go, Lions. I love you guys. Stay safe. I might poke my head in later tonight, too. I might poke my head in for a little late night giveaway, too. Cut, Joy. Houston, let's go. Okay.